What's up, y'all? This is Henny, and today I got something special. I'm starting a new series called The Producer's Path, where basically I want to take you through the lives of different producers and their path to success, whether it be through placements or something different. I know there's a lot of you producers out there who have different paths to getting to success, and I want to showcase some of my friends that I've known for some time who's doing some great things. First one up to bat is my man MSXII and his company MSXII. We're gonna break down sound design and how you can maybe take a career path in sound design as a producer. We're gonna do this through Skype. We're gonna run it in multiple different video streams, and we're gonna get it right to you like we always do. Let's go.
The business.
All right, so tell them, tell the folks where you're from and how you got started as a producer.
Man. So, well, first of all, man, appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir.
Really like what you're doing. Really like this iOS movement. Huge fan of like all of that. Definitely appreciate you for having me. Yeah, man, I'm Mike. From Texas, always representing, as you can see here. My path to production was probably not unlike, too many other people just, coming up in band, in middle school. Always had a love for beats, and then pretty much everybody can kind of pinpoint that moment in their life where like they heard that one record or that one song that kind of sparked that for them. For me, like I really got serious into music production when I started hearing like the Timbo, Missy, Aaliyah, that whole vibe, like that kind of shook me up. So, that was around 15, 16-ish or so. And so right after that, I knew I was like, yo, I got to be involved. I don't know how, but like, this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? So ever since then, like just been full force, man, like pedal to the metal on beats, in and out of gear, like just all kind of stuff, man. So
right on. Now, initially, were you like going after working with artists, placements? Were you just trying to like shop your beats out? Like, what was that journey?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So around, I guess, 2008-ish, 2009, like I started this production group with a good friend of mine. We were Stompbox Music, and yeah, that was the thing, man. Like shopping beats to artists. Shoot, I don't know if you remember Taxi, like the conference, the Taxi thing. We would send tracks out there, fly out to the conferences. So yeah, man. I mean, just wanting to be that guy where it's like, yo, the best artists in the world, the best artists in the world were like representing on my tracks and the things that that we thought were dope. So yeah, man, it all, I guess everything kind of started from there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now you have that. You're going. You're doing everything you need to do to try to get your music out there. What kind of made you transition from maybe chasing placements and trying to get beats to artists to kind of start working on sound design and apps?
That transition, man, was a slow process for me. I think, man, it was a result of just getting burned too many times, man, in the industry. You know what I mean?
Let's stop there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about getting burned, because we got to give them a real, like, give me instances without names, like of how how you got burnt, or like how you got kind of jaded from kind of producing on that level.
Yeah, jaded is probably the perfect word, man. Like, just as you're maneuvering in the industry and you're getting into situations, it's always like one more song, or I need 3 more like this, or yo, so-and-so's got this record, he's in the lab with it right now, send me the stems. And like, a lot of people don't understand, like the music industry is like hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait, and sometimes like wait for nothing. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is like, being in the right place at the right time, and you have to do your due diligence, obviously putting in the work, your preparation and things like that. But I just, so much, like I felt like so many external factors dictated my success. Like I wanted to try to bring back some of that, that I can handle myself. So I started just like not caring about placements, man. Like straight up, just stop caring. I always had this affinity for, designing sounds, making unique sounds and things like that I used in my own production. And I guess the progression was kind of natural from there.
So now you started, you said, man, hell with trying to chase placements. what was the start? Like, how did you like even know that was the thing to do? And like, what time frame was this?
So we're talking 2012-ish, 2013.
Yeah.
So I linked up with my guy over at the drum broker, Al Coda, and he and I had been good friends like years before prior. And, you know, I think right around that time, he was kind of just getting going with the drum broker. And he had reached out to me and was like, yo, if you ever want to do a drum kit, man, like just holler at me, man. So like I had put it off, like, you know, because back in the day, like the school that we come from, like you didn't give up drums.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
somebody was like, if you were collabing with somebody, like I remember you would hide your disc, you know what I mean? And make sure nobody took your drums. So like I was always reluctant in the beginning. But I saw what he was doing and I saw where the game was going. I was fortunate enough to kind of see it really, really early on. Like, man, it's really about sharing, giving knowledge, and giving back. A lot of the things that I was kind of upset about that I didn't get coming up, that's my whole company became like the stickler for that. You know what I mean? So giving back, sharing, making sure guys had dope sounds. So that's kind of how the progression started, man.
Okay, so now you're making music. Are you initially with like drum kits, or did you start with sound loops? Or
very first joint we did, man, the Unkempt Breaks. Like there's a video out on YouTube for that somewhere, but the very first thing we did wasn't.
We'll link it. We'll
link it. Yeah, man. Yeah, with the partner of mine in MSX at the time, yeah, we like, you know, I used to work at the Art Institute, so we had access to a super dope facility out in Austin, man, that had, you know, SSL G series board. We brought in some drums. I mean, they had the best mics, Coles, like all kind of stuff, man. So they let us come in. We trapped up the drums, man, mic'd them up, and then we just put out this break kit. And then from the breaks, started chopping and breaking down individual hits and started making really, really unique things from it. I would take it back to the house, color it, you know, run it through some audio processing things like that, and then that's kind of where it took off, man. So yeah, this was like Q2, Q3, like 2013, man.
okay, so we're speaking on the development of the kit. So how, like, let's fast forward all the way to now, and let's talk about like the process of building a kit, and like actually give me, if you don't have to give all the jewels away, but just my thing is, I could give away everything that I possibly know about music, and you still won't do it the same way as me because you don't think the same way as me. And I feel the same way about something like yourself. And so, you know, you guys got the apps popping. Take me through kind of like the process of building, you know, sounds and what it entails. And, you know, do you go through Pro Tools? Like, what is your process now?
So usually we start with just an idea, like some things that we feel like are missing. It always, like, you know, and I thank God for like the base of like being a producer. You know, we've always built sounds that we first wanted to use. You know what I mean? So like if I'm in here and I'm like, man, today I want to make a record that feels like this. And so I'll comb my library and I'll see like, man, I don't have anything with this texture or like this vibe or this character. That's usually where it'll start. So we'll say, man, nobody's done anything like this. Like, let's see how good we can execute on something like that. So for a drum kit, for instance, like everybody's got the trap drums and that one trap snare. So like my thing was like, man, I don't want to do that anymore. Like a lot of what you hear from MSX, like things are built off of live drums. Like I'd probably say like 80 to 90% of our drums are either built from a live drum set or then like off analog instruments. You know what I mean? So then from there, we'll take it into processing. Like we won't get into that, but we have like, you know, different plugins, different outboard gear. We use some pretty unique things. Like you've seen videos with us like running stuff through cassettes and, you know, SP404s and just trying to like find that sound. And I feel like the beauty of music is like everybody has that sound in your head and you're always searching for it, but it's not quite attainable. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what keeps us going.
So, now you guys have been doing very well, getting a lot of great feedback from the apps. Now, how did that develop?
Man, the app game, to be honest, man, I'll be really, really 100 with you.
Yeah.
My guy Myrex had put me on to what you were doing on iOS.
Okay.
This was about like almost about a year ago.
Okay.
And he was like, yo, you got to check out what Henny is doing with the iPad. And I like from a mobile perspective, like I had an iPad 2 like super slow. Yeah, something like that, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd always wrestled with the idea of like iOS being serious for music production. You know what I mean? And I saw what you were doing. I was listening to these beats and I said, bro, there's no way this dude is making this stuff on iOS, man. There's no way.
Right.
And, you know, I'm the type, like, if I'm going to do something, like, I'm going to go all the way in. So I got with the team. We bought iPad Pros. Like, we went top of the line iPad Pros, late 2017 models. And then at that point, I was able to see, like, after buying a few apps, like, yo, this thing it's faster than my MacBook Pro. You know what I mean? 2013 MacBook Pro, like, it's way faster.
Yeah.
Got into Beatmaker 3, got into Core Gadget, got into some of these apps, and I said, man, like, this is a space I want to be aligned with, man. Like, I feel like, you know, I have a 10-year-old son. I've got a 4-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
They see all the stuff in the room, but when I pull out the iPad, like, they're instantly, you know, drawn to that. So I said, man, this is where we want to be aligned, man. So that's how that whole iOS thing came about. That's
awesome. So now you got, you know, critically acclaimed low-fly dirt out there. No, but I mean, you know, it's pieces of technology like that give us everything that's missing from our experience growing up. You know what I mean? Saturation and hiss and, you know, just giving your warmth and crunchiness to your sound. And a lot of, you know, cats are wondering how to get that on these iOS devices, and you guys are filling the void. So that's amazing. But let's talk about what you dislike about sound design, and then what do you love about it?
Man, the number one thing that I dislike about it is that it's being, I guess for lack of better words, is being exploited right now. You know, people see sound design like as an opportunity to make a quick buck.
Right.
I spend a lot of money, man. Like, I spend a lot of money on, you know, doing things on the internet, DMC takedown, a lot of follow up on Google, you know, watching my analytics, combing forums, making sure that people aren't just, you know, stealing the stuff, man. And, you know, because we like genuinely try to provide a unique product, kind of like what you're saying with iOS. Like, we're genuinely trying to like fill a void out here. That's probably like my biggest hang up with sound design. You know what I mean? It's become like, you know, in our niche, it's become like just drum kits. Like, yo, I got a drum kit. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's a whole other story. I don't even want to get into it because I try to focus on what's moving forward and what's positive. What I do like about sound design, though, is just the exploration part of it, man. You know what I mean? Like, being able to hear something in your head, take a sound, take noise from, you know, a filter, and seeing how far you can bend it to something that's useful. You know what I mean? And like, I became extremely passionate about that, man. Like, I've become extremely passionate about that over the last few years.
Now, making the type of kits that you're doing, and they're so elaborate and so intricate, I've seen like on your website and other things like that, you know, somebody could purchase a kit, they could use it for a specific type of, you know, online purposes, you know, maybe SoundCloud or something like that. But if it gets to the point of maybe a major placement or a major production, requires a license or a fee and publishing and production rights. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I feel like that's where it starts to really get sweet for sound designers and other people, as far as, you know, taking it to a whole nother level, right?
Right. So man, that came about because there's some things out there right now. For instance, we were on 2016. Let's go back 2016. These things started happening. So a project we did called the Soulful Stems was end up being sampled. It went on to land up on Maya's record. It's a joint out here called Maya. I think the record is called Fire, like PHYA or something like that.
Yeah.
Man. A client of ours actually sent me the link and was like, yo, you ever heard this? This joint ended up being Grammy nominated in 2015, 2016.
Okay.
At the time, we were on the whole royalty-free movement.
Right.
And, you know, it's like shooting yourself in the foot, man. So the whole thing about, like, contacting us for clearance rights and things like that, like, I do definitely want to clear up some of the misconceptions. Like, I've seen some things out there where people will say, like, yo, MSX, like, you buy their stuff and then you can't use it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would we sell a product just for display? You know what I mean? The contact us for clearance involves like major label platforms, situations where the life of your music is going to go well on beyond what you initially intended, right? So we're talking TV licensing, VH1, E Network, Oxygen. We're talking Sony distribution, UMG, things like that. Your big records, talking movies. We're talking Super Bowl commercials. We did a Super Bowl commercial last year. You know what I mean? So in situations like that, myself and the guys on my team, like, we should be properly credited for that work if it's extending the life of what you were able to do. You know what I mean? So with the royalty-free thing, like, guys don't understand, and I want you guys to understand, is like, royalties don't come out of your pocket. Like, there's no upfront sample clearance fee or anything. Your label usually takes care of that.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So guys, like, we'll get emailed all the time, so the article that I wrote recently about what about royalties is to kind of clear up some of that misconception. I don't want guys to be afraid to use samples, not just from myself, but from guys like you or guys like Illmind or Frank Dukes or all these other people that are putting these things out. It's just like, go and use them. If you're going to put them on SoundCloud, you're going to put them on Spotify, make your playlist. That's super fine. If it goes on to bigger and better things, major label placements and things like that, man, everybody should be properly credited. Everybody should be properly compensated moving forward.
Exactly. And I feel like that's, you get what you pay for, right? You can find kits online for free that you can download like it's nothing. But if you want to pay for high quality, that's probably going to take your level of production up a whole nother notch. It comes with a price tag. And, you should, like he's saying, it has nothing to do with what's coming out of your pocket, but making sure that you understand that when it goes beyond your legs, right? Now it's beyond your reach. Those that have that reach will usually pay the clearance for that. So you won't have to worry. Yeah, right on. So another thing that I wanted to ask for a young producer, maybe like, man, I love sound design or whatever. What would you recommend, or what's your experience between selling it on your own sites versus selling it on some type of kind of like a kit store or, some other type of online platform?
I don't know. I feel like every situation is unique. I personally don't have a ton of distributors. I try to run business with people that I have relationships with. You know what I mean? People that I know personally, that I'm personally invested in, and that are also personally invested in me, because it becomes less transactional. I've seen situations, there's more bad stories in the music industry than there are good, I think, right? You know what I mean? So I always want to empower the young guy, the new guy, to have your own situation. You know what I mean? When it comes to distribution of anything, sometimes you're left up to the discretion of the distributor, right? If you want your things to be on sale, but right now they're saying a sale is not something that they're looking at doing, you got to wait. You got to play by those rules, and ownership, ownership is a really big deal, man. So like, if you can do your research, get a domain name, and run your own situation. If distribution makes sense for you and you trust the people that you're distributing your product with, I say, all for it. There are things that you have to take into account, sending your product to other people. It can be potentially shared. There's a lot of things that go into it that you need to, just count up the cost. Right. Count up the cost on that.
And like I've said before, like, you just, as a producer, you have to do that research, because there's online platforms who will give you, the opportunity to put your music out there. But, it could be subscription based and you're only getting paid per, stream, or you could do it your own way and, you'll be able to make a lot more off of it, but you have to build your brand up, and it takes time and it takes energy and it takes money and focus. So there's a lot of different ways. So what would be your advice to the young kid who's thinking about getting into sound design and apps and following in this journey of yours?
Man, do it. Do it. I think, man, we all have something unique to offer the world. I feel like the beauty of this industry, this niche, is that everybody brings a different perspective. You know what I mean? So I never want to discourage anybody from doing something that they definitely believe in. Like, if you have an idea, like, man, somebody needs it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like any idea is a wasted idea. If you have an idea for sound design, kits, beats, do it. But like you said, I think that comes with a responsibility of due diligence. You know what I mean? You got to do your homework. You got to do your research. And if you're going to do it, do it at a high level, be proficient and efficient, and just do it in excellence. Like, I think that's really that if you try to keep an excellence umbrella over everything that you do, it's going to point you in the right direction on how to maneuver out here.
Exactly. And that's life in general, right? I mean,
life keys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now just tell them where they can find you. Tell them, something, as far as your website, whatever. And then maybe if you got some new products coming out soon or some things that are coming within, you be dropping them, so frequently, you know what I'm saying? Tell them what's new, and we'll make sure that they can see the link up top.
Definitely, man. Definitely. I appreciate it. So you can catch us at MSXaudio.com, MSXaudio.com. So my company is formerly known as MSX Sound Design. It's got 2 I's after the X, but it's pronounced MSX Sound Design. So like if you do the Googles, just type in MSX Sound Design. You can catch us there. We got a lot of new stuff. We're developing a new app right now. If you go to our Instagram channel, we have previewed that. It's currently under testing right now. Henny, you'll have that one soon. And then the new one, man, the new one. So we're big proponents of Ableton. So, we've branched off and started an entire Ableton unit under MSX Audio. And it's called Racks for Live. So any guys that are out here on Ableton, we've got presets, we've got expansions, we've got sound design, all built within the Ableton experience, man. So it's really dope. Super dope.
There you have it. It's my man, M Simp. He's doing his thing. He's giving sound design. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate you for coming on and be the first. I'm really just trying to make sure that there's knowledge out there about more than just getting with an artist, trying to get this placement and chasing managers and everybody else, A&Rs, and the struggle of just what happens when you're over here just trying to figure it out. And there's so many great ways to be successful in this music industry. And that was it. So man, I appreciate you. I'll continue to keep supporting, and you know what it is. We right here, and we'll see y'all next time. All right, bro. Thank you.